Welcome back to the Entrepreneurial Blueprint. Today we have just me and Lester. So let's hop right into it. So Lester, how are you?
Doing good. Me
Good.
and you is all we need, brother. Let's kick this thing off.
Yeah, exactly right. So since it's only just you and me today, I thought it'd be cool to kind of hop into. We discussed a lot about the CR3 franchise side, but I don't really think we necessarily get into the weeds with it. And why people decide why small business owners around the country decide to become a strategic partner with us. And so I want to ask you a little bit about, I think there's really three big outliers why it's important to join part of a franchise. And so I really want to ask you about these three points today. Let you just talk on it really. And so hopefully, if anybody's listening and is deciding maybe I should franchise my roofing company, this will sway them a little bit. So the first point I think really is why it's beneficial to become a strategic partner with CR3, franchise your company, are the proven systems and processes. I think CR3, a lot of trial and error, but put a lot of processes and systems in place to sort of streamline your business and make it easier to function and run your business.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, the beautiful thing about a franchise system is there's a history. Okay. CR3, American Exteriors, already has been through the trials and the tribulations to figure out what is the perfect workflow and when is the right time to pull the right levers when you're looking to scale a business. So thankfully, back in 2017, Carney Freifogel III, that's our CEO, and he still owns and operates our headquarter location, our flagship location in Hanover, Pennsylvania. For whatever reason, he was documenting everything along the way for his growth. Now, he did start off with just himself, and in a short period of time was able to scale from 0 to 14.7 million in under 4 years. And again, documenting everything along the way. Not exactly sure why they were doing that because they weren't even thinking about a franchise model at that point in time. He was a kid with a dream, right? But that kid with a dream put those boots to the ground and put that mind to the business and did it. Okay, so watching that growth from year one to year two to year three, all the way to year four, getting to that 15 million, understanding what needs to happen along the way, has now given the ability to create this business in a box. Okay, so he's got years and years of, we call it R&D, trying to figure out, what technology to implement, what process to implement, what the homeowners are looking for, and what's really that recipe to success, and he's captured it. Okay, so now fast forward, and when this really came to birth was 2022. Really going through the red tape and seeing if franchising was the route to go, seeing where the industry was and if it was in a position to absorb something like this. And it absolutely was. So thankfully, everything was documented along the way, went through the right steps and procedures to be able to offer a franchise concept. And here we are. So again, when you're getting into a franchise concept, it's the proven systems and processes by where you can just take the ball and run, and you don't have to figure these things out and waste millions of dollars trying to figure out the perfect workflow and system that you're going to need to be able to pull those different levers. Because I've been under thousands of hoods of contractors all over the country. When I was with Job Progress, which was one of the fastest growing CRMs around the country. And what I seen a lot of was a lot of guys really just got stuck in the production and in the business. Instead of working on the business, they were just really focused in the business. Because to be quite honest, a lot of these guys started off on a roof. and then realize very quickly how much money you can make by just basically waking up every day and getting at it. And, that I think was got a lot of guys to being local celebrities, but, they kind of start to bog out about the $3 million mark because you need to pull different levers, but they're not understanding that. Right. So that's where we're at today.
Yeah, yeah, and I think you even stuff the minor stuff like legal agreements that are already written up for subcontractors. Sales trainings that Carney provides that just help you get over that hump. Um, and even manufacturing relationships that CR3's created and can provide to strategic partners around the country is something that I think gets overlooked a little bit.
For
But
sure.
yeah,
It absolutely does. And I got a ton of guys that come to us and, they're like, well, why would I get into a franchise system? Why wouldn't I just do this myself? Like I know what to do and how to do it. Well, to be honest, you can do it and you can find success like that. But at the beginning and end of the day, you're a mom and pop, right? And you have to accept that. That's not who we are. We're looking for national dominance locally and nationally, but collectively with the right strategic partners in place throughout the entire country, we're operating as one. So unless you can see the value in that, franchising just is not for you. That's not to say you can't start your own exterior roofing business and find success. I mean, guys are doing it every day. But I think in the moment of time where we're at, um, it will become harder as an independent than with a group or a roll up. Because as you know, Matt, private equity's coming in and they're buying you up. But that conversation, it started at about 5 million in revenue. It's moved to 10. It's now floating around 15 to 20. If you're not doing that type of a volume, they can't even have a conversation with you. So our franchising model is really built for folks just starting off, or if you're doing in between 250K to 3 million, and you just feel like you need a strategic partners to take or a strategic partner to take you to those next levels. We want to be that rocket fuel. Now, with that being said, you will have to buy into the systems and the processes because you might be doing some things very similar to what we're doing, but in a franchise system, you have to follow the steps to get to where you need to go. And as long as your mind is willing to accept that, this is going to work for you. It's going to work for us. It's a partnership. And, you have right now, you have about 20 brothers and sisters that you can consider your partners and not really your competition. And at the pace we're at, I mean, I can see by the end of 2026, we're sitting around 100 franchisees operating under the same brand, the same mission, all traveling in the same motion. And we're all after that customer centric experience. So at the end of the day, we always say it, but we want to be the Chick-fil-A of home exteriors, right? And once you can provide the same customer experience from New Jersey all the way to California, that's a franchise system. And every single industry consolidates. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. Roofing is next, we believe, and that's what we're after. We need like-minded individuals that understand what we're after, that are willing to follow the systems and the processes, and that are willing to wake up every day and get the money to continue to scale from 2 million to 5 million, 5 million to 10 million, 10 million plus. Whatever your aspirations are. Some folks come to us and they're like, hey, I want to scale this thing to $10 million and, I want to get to a private equity sale and help you do that. Some folks come to us with very big aspirations, understanding the opportunity in this space right now, and they want to build a $50 million roofing company. We can do that. So once we get you in the system and we identify you're the partner that we're looking for to actually be able to see this through. We want to help you build a business that you can remove yourself from one day and that thing is still running. Because I've just seen it time over time. People think they've built successful businesses, but the truth about it is, if you can't remove yourself from that business and that thing continue to run, you have not done that yet. So in a franchise concept, we want just think about it. Magic Johnson probably owns 100 Starbucks. He doesn't work there, right?
Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal's a great. He's got like, I don't know, 50, 100 businesses. He doesn't own the business. He's invested and bought into the franchise. So yeah, some of the biggest names. LeBron James has a few. I forget what the pizza shops are called, but the franchise pizza shops around the
Yep.
country. So
Yep.
this isn't just some nuanced. This is something that the biggest names in the country. It's just as you my favorite word is strategic partners because that's exactly what it is. Hey, you have big aspirations. You may have a little trouble getting there. Getting more so getting over that hump. Well, bring us in and we'll help you out. That's all it is. That's all. And uh, let's transition a little bit to my second point. This is a great transitional point. The marketing and the financial advantage. So obviously, one, the marketing, the resources that CR3 can provide, but also the financial advantages. I guess what are those advantages that we can provide that CR3 can provide both on the marketing and the financial advantages?
Yeah, I think the bulk purchasing is one, right? So when we get all of our vendors in place and we're operating in the masses, we obviously know how that works. McDonald's will get the best price on the Coca-Cola that they serve, right? I think consumers gravitate towards brands that they know. Okay, so that's going to be a large advantage. Is that happening today? Not necessarily, because we planted our first flag in March of 2022, or actually 2023. I apologize. So as we continue to add the right pieces to our brand, consumers buy from brands that they know. So again, I'll start off in New Jersey, but if I'm moving to California and I remodeled my home in New Jersey with CR3 American Exteriors, typically uh, through brand power, when I go to California, I'm going to take a look at CR3 as my first option. I've already done business with them. I know what to expect as far as the experience, and I trust them. Okay, because that's the piece that's so vital, is the trust factor. And when the homeowners or property owners know that they can go and have that same experience and assure that any project, large or small, is my contractor is going to be there for me, and I know what to expect. That's the brand power, and that's where the marketing will really start to kick in. Right now, obviously, we live in a digital age. Digital marketing is a must. There's a lot of folks or a lot of contractors around the country that I speak with, and they're like, Lester, the leads are just drying up. I'm like, my man, we are in a recession-proof business. The leads aren't driving up. You're just not getting enough swings at them because the buyers are going online and they're taking a look in that local area. And if you're not visible online and you're just dependent on yard signs that are in the yards as your marketing and referrals, things are changing up a bit. You need to have a digital footprint, and if you don't, you're gonna get left behind. So I think digital marketing is one, and then it just goes on and on as far as marketing, because everyone thinks, marketing. We don't have the same issues as other folks do in that marketing department in exteriors. We have the same ones, but we have a ton of people that are focused on solving that problem sooner than later, and we'll get there. Because there is a perfect referral source and system that you need to absorb. So it takes a little bit. You got to get comfortable with that. But once we put that into your system and your process and your business, that ball will start rolling, because eventually, as we build this brand power, the marketing is just going to get easier and easier as we go. But some people, I just don't want them to think like, oh, you're gonna we're going to put a CR3 sign up out on a local highway, and it's going to be a subway, and people are just coming through the door. That will happen. That won't be today, but that's what we're building towards. And then we also have a marketing co-op, meaning every one of our franchisees, 1% of that revenue is going into a pot in the middle. And then we use that for national as well as local marketing. So down the road, we can have that branding at like a Super Bowl commercial type of a level. So it's already set up in place. We just need to continue to add to the network to build that up to get to that point. But once we do, the CR3 brand and that badge is going to mean something. And then the folks that got in early, because these territories will go quick, the ones that got in early will say, I'm glad I did, or I wish I had, right? Anyone who's had the opportunity to have a conversation with us early, but it's got to be the right fit. So we have a ton of folks that want to get in, but that doesn't mean that it's not tough to get approved for a territory. But you won't know that until you get involved in our discovery process. But if you do have the luxury of making it through and this actually working out, franchising is a great business strategy that's going to help our network grow pretty quickly.
Yeah, and well, that it's funny you mentioned network because the last point I wanted to bring up is the networking aspect of it. I find it really interesting the advantage that these strategic partners around the country will get when they join the CR3 family is well, you are have a franchise in California, but then you get to call up the franchise in Iowa and you can work together. Or let's say the person from the CR3 strategic partner from Iowa has a family member that lives in California who needs a new roof. Well, hey, I'm just going to call up my fellow franchise owner, strategic partner, and refer them. Right? The group networking that you get being a part of the CR3 family per se, I think to me is obviously just as important as all the other ones, but is a very special advantages that a lot of other businesses around the country don't have. And we all know everyone everyone knows who owns a business. The most important thing of owning a business is your network and networking and yada yada yada. But this cuts the time out for you. We've built that network for you. And that's not to say you can't build your own network, but the
Sure.
network's already there for you and it's growing as we speak. So that's just cutting out the time for you. And this network is there to help everyone in the CR3 company grow together.
Yep, that's exactly right. And it's the mentorship and it's the guidance, right? As an independent and you're trying to build something and you're banging your head against the wall, you're talking to yourself more than likely. But the network that you get access to with not only our franchise system, but franchising in general, it just helps you cut the line. I always like to refer to it as, going to Disney World, right? Like you can pay for that fast pass, get on that ride, enjoy yourself, move along, or you can wait 3 to 4 hours to get on that ride. Yeah, you're probably going to enjoy the ride, but I probably rode 4 rides before you rode one. Okay,
Right.
so it's just fast tracking that through the network, through the mentorship and the guidance of people that have already done this. Okay, so again, it's not rocket science. Ask a question, we troubleshoot it, and if we don't have the answer, someone in our network does, right? Because we're not going to sit here and say, "Oh, we know it all. You follow us." We take great pride in the strategic partners that we bring in. They add a tremendous amount of value to this thing growing, right? It's going to evolve. Actually, the one thing I let them know is if you're not subject to change, this is not for you because we need to change with the times. The times are changing quickly. So, what we have really in place today is very good, very effective, but by no way, shape, or form is it set in stone just yet. So, we need to work with our strategic partners and bounce ideas off them. They're out there in the field, they're living this. They are pretty smart folks. So we listen to them, and we will, if something makes sense, we'll adopt it, move along throughout the system. We'll beta test it back in our Hanover location, and if it works, let's open it up system wide. So yeah, and then the national referrals. Just think about all of that. Like in our network, we have groups of builders all across the country. By where we get these opportunities, they go right back to our strategic partners once they arise in their territory that they serve. So these are all things I think I'll call them independents, but companies that are currently running need to think about. Now, the big thing that comes into play is ego. Okay. We're in an industry where there's a tremendous amount of ego, and that's it's not a bad thing. It just is what it is. You're local celebrities. You're building your brand and your name in that territory. Everyone knows you, so it's kind of tough to say, okay, I'm Lester's Roofing. I've been here for 15 years. Everyone knows me. I'm the guy.
Right.
And now you want me to come in and change my name to CR3 American Exteriors? Yes. And you need to tell me why that's going to benefit you, because I can't do that for you. But if you see the benefits in that, and you see where this is going and where the industry is heading, you're going to be very happy you made that decision when you did. But it's a tough one to get over. But I'm telling you, once you do it, you reintroduce this brand new branding and systems and process to what you already built. That's when we can really start to move the needle for you. And as you're scaling to 2 to 5 to 10 million, I'm pretty sure you're not gonna be unhappy with that name change in the beginning.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting, and as CR3 grows, but it's you mentioned something earlier, but think of Starbucks for example. You travel from I live in Maryland, you live in New Jersey, you travel to any other state, and you want to go buy a coffee. Well, you could go try the mom and pop coffee shop, and it
Yeah,
might be really good. It might be the best coffee you ever had, and it might be cheaper. Or you're like, I don't really feel like taking the risk. I don't really want to take the time to try to find one. But there is a Starbucks right next to my Airbnb, and I know what I'm gonna get. It's the same coffee I'm gonna get in New Jersey and Maryland and Florida and so on and so on. That's what CR3 is gonna be like. You
correct.
move or you don't know what roofing company you want to use, and hey, should I try the mom and pop and give back to the local community? And I don't know much about them, but or do I just want to, if you're a homeowner, take the stress-free route, say, I know what CR3 is going to provide. Let me just call my local CR3 contractor, roofer, and have him come do my house.
You
And
you
that's where
got
this is going.
You got that right, and it's going to be fun. Franchising has been tried in this industry. This isn't the first time that it's been tried before, but to be honest, it was a bit premature due to the fact that technology just wasn't where it needed to be for this to really work. It's readily available. It's evolving. We got the right pieces and places and parts in the system. We got the right integrations, and then also the right overview and oversight to see when we need to make moves and how we need to move. But at the end, beginning and end of the day, it's all about that customer experience. I think in the roofing industry specifically, that is missing big time, because to be honest, if I did your roof, you're not going to need me for 15 to 20 to 30 years potentially. There's no sense in me following up with you. You're going to follow up with me if you have a problem. Not the way to go about it. We believe it's all about what happens after the sale, beginning, during, and after the sale. That customer experience, you have to be top of mind, because it's not only about when problems arise, but we want to be top of mind for any referral that they could ever make to anyone else. And what's nice about what we're doing, it starts with the roof. We're full exteriors, roofing,
Right.
siding, windows, gutters, doors. So what we need to do is we need to create a referral for life. How do we do that? Through customer experience, through technology, through AI. That's what we're after, man. And I think that's why it's going to be so successful so fast. And if anyone's sitting on the sidelines now is the right time to take a look at something like this. Let's get a discovery call going. If it doesn't work for both of us, it works for no one. So just understand that as well. And, I do think the independent mom and pops will have their place in this process. But what we're after is national dominance, brand name, scalability, rinse and repeat, a flipping burgers process, but we're flipping home exteriors.
Okay, well, you answered all of my questions. I feel like I'm an expert in the roofing franchise, the exterior modeling franchise business now. So again, if you're listening to this, give us a call. It's not gonna hurt to give us a call. You could speak to Lester, and we can just walk through some of the questions you may have. It's worth a shot. Okay, jump on the bus now, and yeah, that's it. But let's go. Let's build this thing together.
Yep, and it's not even just about me. It starts with me because you gotta get through my barrier first to make sure you're a fit for what we need. But we have Carney Freifogel the third, okay, Marcy Mayfield, okay, Mark Luderman, okay. The list just continues to go on. Our executive team is very good at what we do. And oh, by the way, we have the granddaddy of franchising, John Hewitt. I mean, come on now. I think everyone understands what's going to happen with CR3 American Exteriors in a very short period of time. So we would be honored to have the opportunity to see if any one of these contractors that are currently running a business are a fit. And then if you're in a 9 to 5, but you understand sales and marketing and running a business, you're a candidate too. And I think roofing and exteriors just really primed for some serious growth in the next 4 years. And yeah, let's see where we can take it.
Awesome. All right. Well, give us a listen, follow, like, subscribe, and let's keep building.
God bless America.